Hello, and welcome to Tea Time Oddities, the podcast where we explore the strange and the unusual throughout history. I'm your host Danielle, and today we'll be talking about old wives' tales. So, pop the kettle on, grab a warm cup of tea, and let's get started. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you're all doing well and that you're having a good month of January. I'm sorry it's been so long between podcast episodes. I don't know what happened, but I just really have lost motivation to do the show. Not because I don't want to. I have tons of episodes ready to go. I just really hate recording myself talking. I get this like stage fright with it. It's so weird. It hasn't really happened before. I don't know what's wrong with me, but that's anxiety for you. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, today, as I said, we're going to be talking about old wives' tales, which is a topic that is so interesting and weird. And once I kind of got down the rabbit hole, I was just ecstatic to share this with you guys. Today, I'm not drinking tea because I burned my tongue earlier eating my lunch. So anything hot just sounds horrid to me. And I'm too impatient to wait for iced tea. So today's tea is water, just water. Without further ado, let's get into the episode. An old wives' tale is defined as a traditional story or belief, especially one that is not true, most commonly stemming from superstition. You may have heard some common old wives' tales throughout your life, most likely during your childhood. If you play with fire, you'll wet the bed. You need to wait at least an hour after eating before swimming, or you'll drown. Sometimes these tales were used to dissuade dangerous or bad behaviors. Most often, these little tidbits of information were not rooted in any sort of fact, and they were passed down through generations. While there are some that are true, I want to go through some of the more outrageous and odd ones. Many of these tales speak about how to predict the gender of a baby, such as if a woman is carrying low, it's a boy. If she's carrying high, it's a girl. And extra weight out front means a girl. Weight around the hips and the bottom indicates a boy. These gender predicting old wives' tales most likely were common because, there were no ultrasounds way back when. So to know the gender of your baby, you'd have to wait 9 months. A really creepy one that I found stated that cats can steal air from babies' mouths. But this is just not possible. I don't know exactly why this got started, but I think it probably traces back to when cats were seen as evil, because they had ties with witchcraft. And while it may be false, it's maybe stuck around or at least stayed for a long time because, cats especially are not safe to be around young children just because cats are not very kind to kids. And also I've heard horror stories of cats sleeping on babies' faces. So I think maybe this is where this kind of stems from, but I don't know. Coffee stunts your growth. This is false, which is interesting because I really did think this was true, but I read that having too much caffeine as a child does inhibit your absorption of certain necessary nutrients, which could lead to you not growing as tall as you could. So while it is false, it has some roots in truth, but it's false. Chocolate causes acne. While there's no link between certain foods and acne, it is recommended to avoid sugary foods in your diet, regardless of acne causing association. It's just better for you overall. And I know for myself, when I eat a bunch of sugar, I definitely do break out. So while it may not be scientifically linked, I think having that extra sugar in your diet definitely is not good for your body. Eating carrots will improve your eyesight. While carrots do contain many vital nutrients, including vitamin A, which is good for your eyes, eating carrots alone will not change your vision. This one apparently originated during World War II when the British spread rumors of their pilots having exceptional night vision due to eating carrots. But this was spread around just to hide the fact that they were using radar. If you go outside with wet hair, you'll catch a cold. The cold alone will not cause you to get sick. Viruses are really the only way to get a cold. But this misconception is easily understood, as most people get colds during the winter months, when sickness is more easily transmitted. But this is often due to dry air indoors from heaters and a lower body temperature, which can increase your likelihood of getting an illness. Thumb sucking will cause buck teeth. This one is both true and false. While sucking fingers is a very common thing for children to do, it most likely won't affect their teeth as long as they stop before their permanent teeth emerge. I actually have personal experience with this one. I sucked my fingers for way too long because I was a stubborn child. And I don't have buck teeth, but I do know that sucking your fingers can be bad for your teeth. I was told many times as a child. I just did not want to listen. Cracking your knuckles will cause arthritis. This one is not true, but frequently cracking your knuckles can lead to issues with your hands. I really believed this when I was a kid. I had a teacher in, I think, about 3rd grade who, all the kids were cracking their knuckles one day, and she came up in front of the class and she was like, I used to crack my knuckles all the time, and now I have arthritis in my hands. And ever since that day, I'm just terrified to crack my knuckles because I'm like, I don't want my hands to hurt all the time. So, again, these tales are like woven through my life without me even really noticing. If you watch too much TV, you'll go blind. While watching too much TV is not great for you, it is unlikely that it would cause blindness. It can, however, be very detrimental to children to spend extended periods of time on screens. Too much television or screen time can lead to dry eyes, decreased attention spans, obesity, impaired social skills, and many more things. I know I spend way too much time on my own screen, and I often have a lot of negative side effects because of that, but I will not be cutting down on watching Criminal Minds anytime soon. While not all of these old wives' tales were true, many have good intentions. It is crazy to know that so many of these I believed were true as a child and when I researched this, but they are not clearly rooted in reality or common sense. But it is interesting to know that if something is passed down or, told to you as a child, it can just stick with you, and whether or not it makes sense, you believe it. So don't believe everything you hear, kids. That's my takeaway from this. You can find a full list of my sources in the description. You can also follow me on Instagram at TeaTimeOddities. I post photos related to the episodes, as well as odd stories in the middle of the month. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Tea Time Oddities. Make sure to keep the kettle on and check in next month. Goodbye.